What's up, everybody? It's FaceTime Friday again. Jason Wilson here. Today we're checking in with Naji Taha, professional skimboarder for Zap Skimboards. I'm gonna give him a call right now. I think he's down at the beach checking the waves. Got a few questions for him. Hang tight. All right, Naji, where you at?
Hey, what up, buddy?
Yo, bro, what's good?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling. Just got over at the local spot right now. How are you, dude?
What are you doing, hiding in the woods?
No, I was actually rigging up a rod. I was gonna go fish for a little bit. It's kind of glassy out there.
Nice. No waves?
Nah, I guess yesterday we had some. Everybody was saying it was like around like thigh to waist. Today's only like shin to knee, but it's glassy. Like it's like slick, like a mirror.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Right on, man. Well, I'm kind of watching my kids right now, double timing on the interview. So if we gotta pause for a second, I'll let you know. We can always
problem.
pick back up. I can do a little
Yep.
edit here. Daddy daycare.
Sounds good, man. How's the family? Everybody's good?
Yeah, man. Everybody's good. Just double timing while the wife's doing some online work. But trying to get these FaceTime Friday interviews, keep them flowing for everybody out there so they can stay up on what our riders are up to during these strange times and as we're moving into summer here.
I know. Yeah, dude. The best thing is like, we're all staying healthy, and if we can do as much as we can to help all the families and stuff, that'd be the best thing right there. And whatever they need to get get them on their feet, that's what we're looking for. And yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I encourage anybody out there that needs help to ask. I think there's a lot of people out there in a position where they can help others in these hard times.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
But
And,
yeah, man. So last interview we had was Sam McCoy, and he said I should interview you. Him and I are good friends. We babbled for like 25 minutes, almost a half hour. I don't know if everybody can hang that long, so we're gonna try to keep these to like 15 minutes.
sounds good.
But I'm gonna jump in the interview, and the first question I have is, how'd you get such a cool name? We've known each other for a while, but I've never asked you how you got your name.
I mean, so my ethnicity is Cuban and Armenian, and my mom, my dad, they just were decided to like, you know what, let's name them Naji. Like it's different, but yet there's a good meaning to it, and I was stoked with it. I used to be embarrassed about it when I was in school, and they would come down to my name, and next thing you know, you got, and I look at them and I'm like, yep, that's me. So, other than that,
Well, everybody calls you Naji or Naji instead of Naji all the time.
Right. So I do
Pretty easy mistake.
Yeah, it's and it's okay. I always tell people, I'm like, you can use that as like a nickname or something like that, but it's whatever. It's all good.
So word Cuban and Armenian
Yes.
is your ethnicity, your background?
Yes. Yep. My mom's side is all Cuban, and my dad's side is all Armenian.
Have you been to Cuba?
Never, but I would love to go and visit. Definitely would like to take like a good week or something over there, and I want to go where my mom grew up, and she's just a little bit outside of Havana. And
I'm sure there's probably some skim somewhere over there in Cuba.
There's got to be. With that island around there, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. There's always something going on in the sea, so it's like it's like there's all these different nooks and coves and kind of cool little like places to where it might get pretty fun somewhere.
Yeah, I'd like to go one day.
It'd be a good trip right there. Plus, you get a lot of good food on the way. Right?
Oh yeah, I like Cuban food.
So good.
I like are they called empanadas in Cuba? Like the little meat pies, patties?
Yeah. Yep.
Empanadas.
Yep, same deal. Yep.
Yeah.
They'll do it with like pork, and dude, you can either get the pork like fried up, or you could get it roasted like they normally do, like how like a crock pot deal, or you could get it from the grill. And regardless, it's amazing. They shred it up, and it's delicious.
Yeah, I like those little patties, the little pastries with the meat in them. I feel like every country's got their version of them.
Yep, yep. Yeah, man, this is like, dude, and they do it with chorizo on some of them too, so they'll mix it in a little bit. But seeing the pictures and everything and getting told from my grandma and my mom, and they were saying nothing but good things about it, and I'm like, well, you gotta definitely go take a trip there.
Yeah, man. So speaking of skimboarding, that's what this interview is all about. There might be some skim in Cuba. We'll have to, if any of you listeners out there have skimmed in Cuba, drop us a note here and tell us where to go. We'll have to make that happen. But speaking of skimboarding, how'd you get into it?
Yeah, just like, so we used to live a little inland in Venice, and we moved to this little area called Minnesota. And it was right on the corner from the beach over there. And as soon as we stepped on the beach, like, we seen a few guys skimming. And that was Dave Armstrong, Steve Boomhauer, and a few of the local guys, Johnny Chappa, Nick Chappa, and became, like, really good friends with them boys. And they welcomed us into to their little, to the little posse as it was. And it's funny because, like, me and my brother used to mess around thinking we were little ninjas back in the day. We liked all the Power Rangers, anything on ninja fighting. We were all into it, so we were doing it on the beach one time, and they started like calling us like little ninja brothers and stuff. And yeah, I got a fraternal twin, so back then we did look alike like a lot. But as we grew older, things changed for sure. But yeah, man, it was just.
Who got you on your first skim? What got you out of the Power Rangers outfit and on the skim?
I would say Dave Armstrong for sure. Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah, Monster did, man. He's the one that every time we would see him, we'd be like, oh, like jaw drop, because, dude, he's shredded, still shreds. It's like that dude pretty much made skimboarding around our town for Minnesota for being its own little area. And, it's like with the group that it was, and Johnny and Nick, like, same deal. And I met them just after I met Dave. And, with them, it's just that's what grew this sport on. And then it went from 15 to like 30 of us. And it really started pushing at it. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It's good. It's good memories growing up with them.
You guys still skim in Minnesota?
Yeah. We just had some waves, I guess, yesterday. And they were saying that it was, pretty clean. But also a few months before this, there's actually a decent swell that hit. And it was a lot of fun right there. Everything was right on shore, perfect, and, a little bit of wind, but never hurt, really. Waves are still clean.
Yeah, I've been to Minnesota a couple times. I feel like the first time, or like one of the first times we met was when I was living in Fort Lauderdale, and I came over to meet Monster to skim. I think we were going to skim Boca, but we ended up maybe in Minnesota, and I remember seeing you there. And Monster, I'll never forget, was eating some weird, like, oxtail stew that he made.
Oh, man.
Like, warming it up on his dashboard.
Yes. that was at Blackburn, man. That was Blackburn Point with Zach and Boom. That's where that was. So.
Not the time I got the shinner. Not that time where we were skimming with Boom. But it was like, I don't even know if we skimmed. It was like a rainy day. But I remember thinking you had, like, a really nice whip. And you're like kind of like a clean cut dude, and Monster, like the complete opposite, is like he had like half of a truck, and I was like, I can't believe that this is Monster's buddy. Like, that just doesn't fit really. How'd you guys end up? It was just skimming, the common bond, or what?
Pretty much it, yeah, dude. We were just being ourselves, and it's just. I don't know, we were humble. We never really tried to jump into it, like get in anyone's way and stuff. We were actually sitting back and taking observation, like just watching and kind of taking it into our own mind and like figuring it out a little bit. And then, one day we came home. It was our 7th birthday, and I remember like coming home from school. I don't know how I remember this, and we seen our first two skimboards on our beds, and they were the bullets. And that right then and there is like when we just both like. We just got hooked. As soon as we hit it, like, started doing it and started skimming along the shoreline, that took off right there. And
so right there in Minnesota Beach on your Zap bullets.
Yep, right.
And you met the Zap guys, and now you work with them. Same people.
Crazy. Pretty crazy, dude. But it's awesome. And
yeah, I mean, you and Monster both work at Zap now, correct?
Yes, sir. So I'm doing the sales and the marketing, and he's actually building a lot of the high-end shape. Like, he's one of the high-end shapers over there. So a lot of the fuses, Fuse X's, a lot of your high-end wake surfs too. He's one of the main guys there shaping a lot of those boards. Kills it too. Kills it.
Mind if I take a sip of my cerveza?
Go ahead, dude.
Helps the dad duties.
Dude, I don't blame you, man.
Gosh. 6:30. I just cooked some.
Regardless out of work and stuff, it's nice. It's nice to have one here and there.
Yeah, I just cooked some chicken on the grill. Got the kids in front of the TV now.
Oh, heck
watching
yeah.
some Pokemon.
Oh, snap. That's still around?
I never even watched Pokemon. That was kind of hit after I was a kid. But yeah, it's still around. My son's into it. He got all the cards and Pikachus and freaking all that stuff around here.
Dude, that's crazy. Damn, man. Dang.
Yeah, I remember I was like, hey, Lincoln, you got your Pokemon? He's like, you called it Pokemon. It's Pokemon, Dad.
That's crazy. And then there was like a few other ones, like Gundam or something like that, Yu-Gi-Oh or something. My cousins were all.
I got a Pokemon skimboard that somebody
really?
painted up hanging in his room. I'll have to drop a picture of that too.
That'd actually be pretty sick. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if there's someone that had a graphic of a Pikachu or something on the bottom.
Pretty tight.
Pretty sick.
We did a cross-up of the Pikachu and NWA. It's pretty cool.
No way, really?
Pretty gangster.
That would be a huge hit right there.
Yeah. But speaking of gangsters, you used to spend some time on the West Coast, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you see any gangsters out there?
I mean, yeah. That place is nuts. LA's insane, but I'll tell you what, it's a good experience. It's a lot of fun. It's just, it's a whole new world. Anywhere in Southern California and
Yeah,
California.
you weren't in LA or anything though. You were down in Orange County in Laguna, right?
Laguna Beach all the way. Super clean, very nice. Skim surf town. It's huge with that.
Yeah, I think if anybody's watching this, they probably know about Laguna Beach.
Oh, for sure, for sure. They all know about that wedge too.
Yeah, Newport, the wedge. So, real quick, tell me about that experience living out there and how that. Just tell me about that. I mean, did you go out there to skimboard? Was that the reason?
That was the main goal, and I ride a lot of dirt bikes too as well. And motocross is a big thing in my life, and it's always has been, just as well as skimming and surfing. But skimming is the main draw of what took me there, and got blessed to work at Ducati. That was crazy.
Yeah,
I never thought
tell me that.
It was insane, and it's like having a job like that was unreal. That was like, whoa. But it was a good experience, man. Skim every day. I mean, wedge was right down the road. Take 2 hours out of the evening and go skim wedge when I'm just right there. Might as well.
Tell me about your best wave ever at the wedge.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, walk me through it. I know you remember it.
All right. The one day that JOB and Poops and all the boys came out there, everybody was skimming that day. The wedge, that's when Isaac Zoller got the most sickest in and out, backside in and out I've ever seen anybody get out there. So
I haven't heard that name in a long time. I like Isaac. He's a good dude.
Isaac's a good dude, man.
Good filmer and photographer.
A little bit. Kills it in photography.
So he got a good one?
Dude, he got a slab, dude. Like one of the most cleanest slabs out there. Everybody was freaking out. Same with Ken, man. Kenny boy that just recently passed.
Rest in
I'm
peace.
sending my condolences to his family for sure, man.
Pour a little of that out for him.
Yeah, man.
Pour it in my lap.
Respect for that. Big time. And watching him too, dude. They would get some big, clean waves. They knew how to ride that place real well. Actually, probably better than a lot of people. And of course, Beaker and Gio, man. You can't beat them two. And Sammy, Blair now, crazy. And so the first session, that was my first real session, and it was my turn to go up. As soon as I seen it outside, everyone's like, "This is yours. You're going on this." The best thing about it was having Gio right there, Brian, being like, "Naji, this is all you, right? Like, you're going." And I go, okay, here we go. Set up and everything. Here comes a cider. Dude, that primary section that I seen was something that I've never thought I would ever imagine myself pulling into. It was like a dream come true just right there on that day. Now, pulling into this thing, not only just like looking up at it, but that was like probably the biggest set of my entire life. My adrenaline, my heart, everything just went into like a shocking mode. And I just seen that vision coming, like where that tube just started coming way over me. And I started reaching up high, and I was just like, wow. And then as I tried to get out of it, it kind of like the shoulder kind of broke on my back, but it hit hard, dude. So I didn't make it fully back to the shore, but I felt close to it. I was so pumped on myself right there just for taking something so big, but yet to the fact that it was like a dream come true right there. And I do have like a.
Did you make it?
What is it?
Did you make it?
No,
Close
I didn't
out.
make it, but
Doesn't matter.
It was no. I mean it crumbled me.
You got the view though.
So man, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that day, dude. That moment right there, you know, just seeing like the hype with everybody, you know, giving you the motivation and the stoke to like to get out, to be in that specific position. Not a lot of people can just go up and skim that place.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy place to skim.
Oh, it's an intimidating place for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's, you know, so it's like experiencing that moment really like made me love skimboarding 1,000 times more.
Where else did you skim out there?
So we went to West Street. That was definitely one of my favorite goofy spots, cider spots right there. That is unbelievable. That place, nice little wedge area. 10th Street, same deal. You got some fat slabs that come into 10. And of course, Elisa for the fat wraps, dude, all day. I love Elisa. And I like me some Crest once in a while because it reminds me of home. And home is like the same deal as what Crest breaks like in our past.
Yeah, Crest Street's a fun spot. A rare place to catch out in California.
Big time, big time. Certain days and certain swells and certain times of the year it'll work, but when it does, it's like one of the most fun, enjoying ways you can get just by having a day at the beach and not really just trying hard, just enjoying it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome, dude.
So how long did you live out in California for?
I was in California for about 3.5 years. 3.5 years. I went in 2014 and came back in like just about almost 2017 right there.
And how do you think that experience has played into skimboarding for you and getting your couple years out there?
It was amazing. You know, it's just like something you got to take in. Just kind of sit back and understand and, you know, try to figure things out of how you're going to read these waves and read the cider. Because, like, using ciders, backwash, these are the key tricks of getting out to a wave that you really want to really get a fat tube. This is how you got to use it. And, you know, just sitting back and waiting and being patient and respectful and not just running on anybody. That's like a big thing. And, you know, it kind of, you know, I hope to see that more here, where people can respect a little more, not take it so crazy serious. We are in the Gulf. So other than that, it's like that's what made me understand by watching others ride those waves. And then my friends too as well that live there for like their whole life, like helping me understand like, hey, this is when you got to go. This is what you got to do to stay on the cider. So I took every single knowledge of what they gave me and put it in my own head and kept it there. And that was my homework right there. And, you know, there's times where I blew some waves. You know, it happens. But the best thing about it, you can't let yourself get down because you're going to connect to one. And once you connect to one, you'll figure it out from there. And that's what happened.
Yeah, cider is a whole nother world of skimboarding, especially when you're coming from the East Coast or Gulf Coast. Definitely took me a long time when I first moved out to California to really understand how to approach those waves, especially ciders, you know?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Around the world, you know, you go around the world, half of the climate of like skimboarding, and it's all within ciders pretty much. You know, you got a primary connection type deal, and that's something that, you know, it's very important to know how to read and understand to make it to that next section of the wave.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've ridden any cider here in Delaware right now.
You need to get us a little Malacca trip.
I do like that cider down there at Muertos.
big too.
For sure.
It was super fun.
So, you got any goals in skimboarding right now coming into the summer? Talking about a little bit of the past, living in California, and what do you what are your goals here coming up?
Um, biggest thing is hopefully we can get these contests rolling again. I know it's a tough time right now. We're pretty late already at the start, but if I can at least after they do kick up, I want to try as best I can to place in the top 10. Hopefully because in pro level competition nowadays, it's unreal.
Top 10 of what? The UST or an event?
Yeah, just I don't know, maybe just in an event. UST is.
Oh, come on, man. You can do better. Give me a better goal than that. I'm your team manager. I'm going to have to set your bar a little higher. We want top 6 this summer, bro.
All right, dude. I want top 6. That would be a dream come true right there in my skimboarding career right there. If I could get top 6 in the UST all the way through, competing in and going through Cabo, even though it's that's another intimidating place. But, dude, we only live once, dude. I'll charge whatever it is. I'm not scared. And not only that, I got drive and heart, and I really got motivation, determination to get something that big. Because, dude, if someone wants to always dream about getting a fat freaking tube, you can't beat how Cabo is just a full stand up, nothing but a pit of just glorious blue water and white pump, and then you just see the other side. And not only that, you're in the most biggest barrel of your entire life.
Yeah, I'm there with you right now. I'm in the barrel. I'm feeling it.
That's the spot. That's the spot to get a big boy at. Dude.
I'm ready, man. This quarantine's got me ready to get tubed.
Got us amped up. I'm telling you, dude. We're gonna come back stronger in skimboarding this year. After all this is over, I feel good. We both feel good.
Yeah, man. So aside from skimming, obviously you're into fishing. What else? Tell me a little bit about fishing. And what type of fishing you do, and anything else you're interested in when you're not skimming.
Yeah, so we do a lot of red fishing, snook, and trout, and also tarpon. And we get occasionally some permit that do come make a run here during the springtime and beginning of summer. So cobia too, we're in the Gulf, so we do have a good selection of species out there for offshore and inshore fishing. But dude, I literally just grew up on it as a baby, and with my dad, my grandpa, uncle, they did it as well, being outdoors, being hunters, fishermen, brought me and my brother onto it. So this is something that we actually took up on when we were kids, and it's something it's passion, just like skimming.
So you take a boat out and fish, or do you fish from the land?
Yeah. Well, we do it all. We go from piers to boats on land. We find ponds, we'll find restricted little areas, and it is whatever. That's the best thing about it with the challenge, and it's rewarding when you go and you see what you can do by finding something new and knowing what the fish is going to eat by trying a little bit of different lures. And that's another thing. We fish with artificial a lot, but also bait here and there, but not so much. But the artificial game is where it's at, and we love throwing feathers, and I mean feathers as in fly fishing. And when it comes to tarpon season, that's a big goal, and what me and my brother like to do. And we got a couple of buddies that we grew up with, and they're pretty serious with it too, and they enjoy it as well. And you can't beat that, man. It's a big adrenaline rush right there, but it's a lot of fun. And
do you guys eat the fish?
Not necessarily as much. It's just we just like the sport of it, the hobby. Let them grow back because
you don't eat any tarpon or redfish or no.
You can't. Well, tarpon mostly all bone and stuff, but yet they're tarpon's a big game fish down here. And
you said permit fish. You eat a permit fish, can't you?
You can eat permit. I never really eat those, but when I do get one, it's still offshore. But we're always throwing them back.
It's all about this. It's catch and release.
Oh, I'll catch and release. Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes, absolutely. You want them to grow babies and let them keep spawning, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but also for other people to catch too as well.
I thought you'd like to cook up some fish. I've seen you cooking on your social media.
So here you go. We go offshore, or if we go inshore, if we're going to catch something inshore, I will keep some trout, keep snapper, sheep's head, black drum, anything like that, offshore snappers, groupers,
What's your favorite to eat?
If I was to really keep one, if I got to pick them all, it's going to be snook. Snook's my favorite by far.
How do you
Many
cook
ways
it?
You can cook that. So the best way, I think, in my opinion, I like to use a banana peel. I use that as my wrap. So what I do is I marinate my snook in Cajun seasoning throughout like 1 or 2 days in a plastic bag, and then I'll have the marinade in there too. Nice homemade marinade that I lift up, kind of like what my mom used to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bring everything. I'll get the spice, or not the spice. I'll get the onions, peppers, and everything. Grab the wrap, put everything in the center of it, tie it with a wax yarn, grill it for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Dude, it's some of the best. It's the best to eat like that.
Dang.
Also fried too.
Dude, you just made me hungry.
it's
I always
fire,
do
man.
this. I start talking about food, and then I'm like, we gotta stop, man. I'm freaking hungry now.
I'm with you, dude. The appetite builds up, and that's like something that you can eat every day and never get tired of it. That taste is so unique. I promise you, it's one of the best tasting fish out there.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, man, we're getting deep in the interview here. I do have a lot more stuff I'd like to talk about, but just for the sake of not having a long video on the internet, I think I'm gonna wrap it with like 2-3 more questions. And I definitely want to know about your skimboard. We're probably gonna maybe try to link it in here or show a picture of it. If you don't have it with you, you can send me a pic. We'll throw it in the post. What are you riding right now?
So we don't know what to call it. Steve actually made something that is a little unique, but it's got similar tail to how the Prowler is with a nice round tail, but it's got a nice fat hybrid shape to it. But I'll tell you what, it's probably my favorite board. Out of all the boards I got right now, that's my favorite right there. It rides outstanding.
Doesn't Naji mean handsome?
Yes, sir. That's what my mom and dad told me as I was growing up. So it's like, you know what?
You got a girlfriend?
Not anymore, man. Not anymore. Kind of just recently split up not too long.
Oh, no. I'm going to release you to the internet on Friday.
Huh?
We're going to release you to the internet on Friday. FaceTime Friday, Naji single. You might be getting some DMs after this.
Oh, snap. Uh-oh.
I'm not putting you on blast right now, am I?
Nah, dude, you're good.
You're good?
Straight, man.
You down for some summer love?
We'll see where summer goes.
Don't blush out there, handsome. Is there anybody out there in those woods? Are you solo? Where are you at right now?
I'm actually just doing me, man. I'm actually focusing on myself right now, and I want to, I'm ready to buy a home. I don't want to rent no more.
I'm in my home right now.
I want to be able to buy something and own it. So renting for a little bit, and then we'll see how that goes after the next few months or something, because the market's getting low over here, as in the prices are right, and I know we could score something pretty dang good in my area for where my dad's at. I like to be in his area the most.
Where's that?
And he's up in Minnesota.
The province.
The province. That's where the beaches are right there. But the houses you can find in the 200s, you just got to get lucky with it.
It sounds like a good deal to me.
And that's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Near the beach?
Right next to the beach, 2 to 3s.
Boy, I need to come down to Florida and buy some real estate.
Come on, man. Hey, there's a lot of foreclosure if you want to make a little side money, too.
I could use that during this COVID-19 environment.
I'm
right, well, let's bring it back to skimboarding and wrap this thing up. I brought something I want to show you.
All right, sounds good.
You like skim videos?
Love skim videos, dude. You name it, I've seen them all. Yes. Hold it.
Have you seen this video?
Is that? It's blurry.
This is a Zap video that many people don't know about.
That's not Dalo Down, is it?
This is called...
When it was on VHS?
This is a VHS. It's called Zebra Engine.
That one, I'm going to say no. I've never seen that one.
Dude, they don't even have a copy at Zap. Look at this art. The dude...
Why isn't that framed?
You want to see the lineup?
Please, let me see this.
Is it backwards for you, or is it...
No, it's good. You got Eric Christensen, Jason Wilson. That's you, man. Oh, what? Mike Mercer. What? Aaron Gall, Blair Cherico. I remember Blair Cherico. Kyle, is it Sonico? How do you say
Sonico.
that?
That's EJ's older brother.
Yeah, look at Baxdog, Boomhauer, and many more. Dang,
So
dude.
this is a rare, and I'm gonna do a giveaway here. So this is one, and then this is the other one.
Oh, skim tricks. I forgot about that. Yes, yes.
Have you seen
my
this one?
goodness. Yes, when I was a kid, dude. I was like probably like 11 years old, 12 years old, if that.
I'll check out this lineup for all the people out there that weren't following.
Oh, look at Babs, dude. Babalo's in there. The backs, Drew boy. Dude, me and Drew were just talking about these days like not too long ago. That's so sick, man. Connor Schmidt, hell yeah, or heck yeah, sorry. Oh man, Grady Archibald. What? That's my boy.
How's that rare? How's the
boy? Are you kidding me?
How's the rare Grady on Zap? And then Drew busting the Benny.
Yeah, the classic nutcracker is what I call that one.
Now, here's what I'm gonna do. If anybody out there has both of these VHSs, I want them to post. And I know you're on the Zap Instagram monitoring that, Naji, so I need your help. I want, if somebody can post, the first person that has both copies of these, I want to see a picture of you holding it up, and we will send you a Zap care package. What do you think about that? Like a tee, maybe some traction or a hat or something. Can you pull that together for me, Naji, in the factory?
We can get this going, no problem.
So
Absolutely.
You haven't even seen this one. You got to now. Your homework is to go find a copy of Zebra Engine, and then furthermore, find a VCR, because that's even harder.
Hey, if I gotta go buy it off some little kid, I will. All right, like.
So I thought that'd be fun. I've been in my basement. I got a lot of skim history. I'm gonna like open up a skim Hall of Fame here one of these days. But I thought for the Zap interview that would be funny, and I wasn't sure if you had seen either of those, and I was right. I stumped you.
Blew my mind, dude. Like literally, that would be if I could watch that right now. I'd watch that tonight.
I got a VCR. I have one.
Now here's the deal with that. You can ship that to me for like a few days, and then let me watch it, and then I'll send it right back.
I'll let you come. I'll let you come watch it in my basement where my VCR is when you come up for the skim contest this summer.
Hey, when I come up and do a winch session,
and I'll give you a Miller High Life.
I'll give you a Miller. Hey, is Salad Factory still there?
Nope. It's a Mexican restaurant now. Servida.
Oh, we'll go tear up some Mexican food, man. You can't
They actually got really good wings. It's kind of weird for a Mexican restaurant. Not usually a specialty, but oh my god, they're so good. They're like sweet with jalapeno on them. I know you like hot stuff.
Oh, dude, you bring the hottest, I'll eat it.
Yeah. Anyway, man, we're going to wrap it. I think we got enough there to put a nice interview together for everybody. If you can send me a couple clips, maybe a pic of your new setup or your board, anything else you'd like to see in the blog post, we're going to get this out there for Friday.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. It was great talking to you, dude, and great catching up. And, dude, tell the family I said hello. Everybody be safe, man. Dude, we'll talk soon, and we're going to link up here shortly.
Yeah, man. Thanks for your time.
You got it. See you, buddy.
Peace.